Hi friends, I'm Yvonne Murray, Program Manager and Community Engagement Specialist for the Changemaker Initiative. 2 years ago, when Pastor Kathy announced the Changemaker Fellowship, I knew right away that I wanted to be involved. My journey of social justice work started here at LAUMC when I took the Just Faith class. After the class, I spent a year listening and thinking about where I was being called to put my faith into action. After a lot of time wondering if I was doing it right, I felt the nudge to focus my efforts on gun violence prevention. And so my journey began. I was taking on a really complex issue, an issue that's polarizing, that people can't talk about. It's even hard to talk about with people you know well and love deeply. My hope was that through the Changemaker Fellowship, I would learn to have a greater impact on this issue than I had had on my own. I wasn't wrong in that hope, and there were some interesting surprises along the way. Two essential components of the change-making work are empathy and creative problem solving. Empathy is understanding and sharing the feelings of other people. That can look like seeing another's perspective, really listening to understand their perspective, feeling their pain, and taking compassionate action on the issue. The intersection of me, my faith, and the world took an unexpected turn when I began to act with empathy, because the first person I needed to have empathy for was myself. 12 years ago, I lost my dad to suicide by firearm. It's not something, and it's something that I had compartmentalized. I didn't want to think about it. I didn't want to talk about it. Most people who have experienced the suicide of a friend or loved one don't talk about it. The thing that I didn't know at the time was 2/3 of all gun deaths are because of suicide. It's really hard to solve a problem that no one is talking about. So I started talking about it. I started to realize that by talking about it, people understood why I was involved in gun violence prevention. And they started being more willing to participate with me in this problem and how to solve it. It also helped me learn how to listen to family members who I know well and love deeply. And from listening to family members, I began to learn how to listen to gun owners, who are the people who are most at risk of gun suicide. Listening to and understanding the perspective of gun owners has been really important in the work as I move forward. In this, it's been also really important to establish partnerships for creative problem solving. And my partnerships have been interesting and unexpected. It became really clear to me, and has always been clear to me, that no one wants to lose a friend or a family member to suicide. And that meant that I could start to partner with suicide prevention groups. I could start to partner with veterans groups. I could start to partner with gun owners, because when we're looking at the intersection of suicide prevention and gun ownership, there are a lot of places that I can partner and talk to people to come together and look for creative solutions to these problems. So empathy and creative problem solving were just what I needed to approach my work on gun violence prevention differently. Empathy for myself was important to fully understand why me in this work, and to help encourage others to work with me at the intersection of suicide prevention and gun ownership, so that we can problem solve together. Each of us can be change makers. It doesn't require being a fellow. It doesn't require knowing where you're called to have impact. Practice empathy and creative problem solving. Listen to where God is nudging you to action. Where are you being called to risk something big for something good?